Nizar Kinsella names the 5 players that Chelsea may consider selling to make room for Christopher Nkunku. Chelsea will need to consider selling some of their misfiring forwards before making an offer for RB Leipzig's Christopher Nkunku, according to Goals Blues correspondent Nizar Kinsella. The journalist has confirmed reports from Germany that manager Thomas Tuchel is keen on recruiting Nkunku this summer, but Chelsea need to sell first in order to make room for the France international. Nkunku liked but Werner is hard to sell, #CFC. Nizar Kinsella, at Nizar Kinsella, May 25, 2022. Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech and Romelu Lukaku are the 4 main candidates to be offloaded, but the Blues fear that clubs will see them as too expensive both in terms of transfer fees and salaries. Armando Broja is the 5th player that could well be made available if they can't find anyone else to sell. Tuchel is keen to have the Albanian international back for pre-season before deciding on his future, but there are a host of teams interested in snapping up the striker, including West Ham, Southampton and Newcastle. Nkunku is also in high demand. The 24-year-old has been linked with Manchester United, Manchester City and Arsenal in recent weeks, so Chelsea may have to move fast to secure his services.
So guys, Nizar Kinsella stated in his article that Chelsea would need to sell players in the forward positions in order to reinforce the squad this summer. He also went on to mention that Chelsea has compiled a 5-man shortlist of players that could be out the door by the time the summer window slams shut. These 5 players include Romelu Lukaku, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, and sadly enough, so sad guys, oh my gosh, Amanda bro.
I said, hold up, wait a minute.
Can you believe it?
Yo, pause. No, God, please, no.
Now I will highlight the individual situation that surrounds the player that I think is most likely and the most feasible player to be sold in order to facilitate the Christopher Nkunku deal this summer for Chelsea Football Club. The player who I think is most likely to be sold in order for us to sign Ousmane Dembele or Christopher Nkunku is Timo Werner. Timo's time at Chelsea can be described as a roller coaster ride, where at times he can be unplayable, he could be brilliant, making some really good runs, also scoring some really difficult goals, but at times he can be frustrating, he can be downright atrocious, where his passes aren't coming off, he's miscontrolling the ball, as well as he's constantly offside. By now, Timo Werner must, and I repeat, must have the record for the most offside goals for the season for any club, for any player at all. He's that player. He's always on the shoulder, he's always running offside, he's always scoring offside goals. But don't get me wrong, I really love Timo Werner and I would love for him to stay. But if he's the person that needs to be sacrificed for us to improve, I am willing and able to accept that fact. But for me, he has performed exceptionally well, scoring goals, important goals for us, or even making simple runs which provides other players the space to score goals. The most memorable one for that would be Kai Havertz's goal against Manchester City in the Champions League, where Timo Werner's run allowed him to score the goal, to go one-on-one with Edison. Without Timo's run, that goal would have never happened, and I repeat, never happened. So I appreciate and understand what Timo Werner brings to the team, and as I said, he's one of my favorite players. He's one of the fans' favorite players, but as I said before, if it is to ensure our guarantee or progression as a team or improvement as a team, I would sacrifice Timo Werner to improve the squad so we can go and win the Premier League, because I love him so much. I would accept him going back to Dortmund or going back to Leipzig, scoring tons and tons of goals, because that's what I know him as, know of him, that's what I expect of him, and I really love Timo Werner. Trust me. Timo Werner has been generating interest from the Bundesliga giants Borussia Dortmund, as they have lost Erling Haaland to Manchester City, who paid the release clause for the Norwegian striker early this month. However, they have been priced out again for another Chelsea striker. Chelsea wants more money than what Dortmund is willing to offer. Therefore, this deal is looking unlikely unless Dortmund becomes really desperate later on down in the transfer window. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that happens so we can get some money generated for our club. Chelsea pricing out Dortmund for a striker has happened before. I don't know if you guys remember Michy Batshuayi, Batsman as we know him. He went to Dortmund on loan and scored a ton load of goals and then got injured. After all that, Dortmund expressed their interest in him again, but Chelsea wanted a certain amount of money and Dortmund wasn't willing to pay that money, or they weren't able to pay that money. It's the same thing happening again. But for Timo's sake, I hope that this doesn't happen any at all, because I really love Timo. I want to see him scoring, banging in a lot of goals again. Banging in goals everywhere. Boom, 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 everywhere. Christopher Nkunku will be really expensive this summer because of the goals he has scored, goals and assists that he has provided. So basically, one of the ideas that I have is to do a swap deal. We do a swap deal with Leipzig. We give them Timo Werner plus 20 to 25 million. I believe that would be a good deal. There are other elements to the Christopher Nkunku deal that might prevent the deal from going through. However, I believe that Chelsea is in the prime position to sign Christopher Nkunku. Here's the reason why. There are two other clubs that are currently interested in Christopher Nkunku, namely Manchester United and Real Madrid. These two clubs are currently facing difficulties as it relates to signing players, or in fact to sign Christopher Nkunku. They all have their disadvantages. For Real Madrid, they have just won the Champions League and are currently focused on signing Tchouaméni from Monaco. I am not so good at pronouncing his first name, so it's Tchouaméni from Monaco, and they face competition for Tchouaméni from PSG. PSG, who basically stopped them from signing their main target this summer in Kylian Mbappe. So with all their energy focused on signing Tchouaméni, Chelsea has now the option to snoop in and sign Christopher Nkunku without any competition from Real Madrid, as they have their focus elsewhere. So that's the main situation with that. Manchester United, on the other hand, have issues as it relates to funding. They will now have to sell players to make up the money that they would need to sign Christopher Nkunku. Currently, they basically have a deal agreed for Frankie de Jong from Barcelona, which is, I think, will cost about £65 million, 65 to 70 million pounds. And they also are working on Timber from Ajax, a centre-back. So they will now have to source the funds to sign Christopher Nkunku, which will cost about 60 to 65 million as well. We can now go ahead straight away and just sign Christopher Nkunku, whether we choose to use the cash option or, as I suggested before, Timo Werner swap deal. I'm not so sure if that will work, but let's see. So guys, we move on to see what will happen this summer with Christopher Nkunku. I don't know about you guys. Are you guys willing to see Timo Werner go to sign Christopher Nkunku, or do you want to see the two of them reunite together, scoring and assisting goals for each other? Tell me guys down below, tell me what you like to see.